hột gà nướng, hột vịt lộn, hột vịt sữa, trứng cút lộn, bắp xào đây.
So welcome to another episode of 7 Million Bikes, a Saigon podcast. My name's Neil Mackay, I'm your host, and today I'm with Wright, who is an expat in Saigon like myself, and he's from England. Lewis, it's good to have you on today.
Hello, nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. So where are you from in England?
I'm from Durham, which is in the northeast England, quite near Newcastle. I think most people know that from the Premier League. Durham is famous for a nice cathedral, university, but it's a pretty small place, not like Saigon.
Now, is Durham, so I'm a bit of a football fan. Is Durham closer to Sunderland or closer to Newcastle?
There's mixed feelings about this. If most of Durham, you're fans of Sunderland, and that's because of the River Wear, which goes through Durham, ends up in Sunderland. So apparently because of this river, you should be a Sunderland fan. But actually, my parents, especially my mum's side, are from Newcastle, so I lean towards Newcastle for football.
Because my worry is that you've just offended all of Sunderland by saying that Durham is close to Newcastle. Would there be some offended people out there?
I don't know. Yeah, I would say the majority of Durham people affiliate more with Sunderland than Newcastle. That's what I would say.
And so you're from Durham, so you're from not too far from Glasgow, right?
Yeah.
Yep. And have you been to Glasgow? Have you been to Scotland before?
Yeah, more to Edinburgh. We always used to go to the Fringe Festival. I've only been to Glasgow when I was quite young, and on the way to Lomond. Do you know Loch Lomond?
Yeah, it's very close to Glasgow.
Beautiful place, yeah. So I know Edinburgh more than Glasgow, yeah.
It's a common theme in my life, the amount of people that I've met, and they go, "Oh, you're from Glasgow? I drove through it."
Yeah, to get to somewhere else.
Yeah. And they normally say, "Well, I've been to Edinburgh. Loved Edinburgh. Oh, I went to Loch Lomond. It's beautiful."
Yeah.
Glasgow's got a great motorway though. And it's true, Glasgow has a motorway that goes literally through the heart of the city.
Yeah.
So if you want to get most places, and it does have a violent reputation, so I think a lot of people get scared, but no, Glasgow is a nice city. But I'm glad you've been to Scotland at least. The amount of English people that I've met, and I've never been to Scotland.
Yeah.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah. I once cycled from Newcastle to Edinburgh, not to Glasgow, sorry.
Wow.
But so I got to see lots of beautiful Scottish countryside.
And how far is that?
We did it in, I think, just under 2 weeks. So it's a good couple hundred miles. A good bike ride. Yeah,
and we doing it for charity or just
no, just with my family. Yeah,
oh, wow.
Yeah. It was okay actually because we took the car. So I was quite young as a teenager. So one of my parents would do half the day's journey and turn around and go back for the car and then drive the rest of it and meet us at the end. So yeah, but it was fun. I enjoyed it.
So this is a podcast about Saigonese, about people who live in Saigon. So obviously, like me, you live in Saigon. How long have you been here now?
I've been on and off a little bit. Actually, yesterday marks my 1 year anniversary here. 1 year ago yesterday, I arrived in Saigon. However, I lived here for 13 months, a couple of years back. And I've been here many times on holiday. My girlfriend's Vietnamese, but we met in England. So my first experience was just coming as a tourist in the summer. And then I came here for a year while my girlfriend was working in an internship. And eventually we both moved from England to here together.
Wow. So my next question is, how's your Vietnamese?
Really shockingly bad. It should be better. I used to know more, but I got a bit shy, and I'm ashamed to say I gave up a little bit. I know a lot of vocabulary and I understand a lot more than I can speak, which has its advantages, being able to know what's going around and pretending you don't really understand.
So we have already interviewed your girlfriend.
Yes.
Kim. And that was a very interesting interview about studying overseas and whatnot. And so one of the questions we asked her was, have you understood something in English that someone didn't know that you could understand? Have you heard something in Vietnamese being said about you that they didn't know that, like, you, this white guy, can actually understand them?
Yeah, actually, I have a little story about that. Once I was renting a motorbike. I got this new motorbike and I didn't know how to open the fuel cap. I had to fill it up. Turns out you had to put your key in the fuel cap and turn it to get it off. I didn't know, so I'm pulling at this thing. And the guy at the petrol station looked at me and just said, "Tay ngu wa," which basically means stupid foreigner. And I understood him. And then I felt so embarrassed because he took my key out of my hand, put it in and opened this thing. I was so, oh my God. So I thought, yeah, that's kind of deserved. So I didn't say anything.
Yeah, that's probably fair enough, right? You're going to, at that point, be like, yep.
Yeah, that's my bad.
So what is the Vietnamese for stupid foreigner? Because I have to listen to this
Tay,
because I probably
right?
have been called this a million times and I don't know. Say it again.
Tay ngu wa. Tay is foreigner or westerner. Ngu is stupid. And then wa, like really stupid. Tay ngu wa.
I feel like probably any Vietnamese person listening to this is probably like, no, that's completely
Probably
wrong.
said some kind of vegetable, yeah.
Something like that, right? So when did you first come to Vietnam? So you came for 13 months in the beginning?
Yeah, the first trip was way back in, I think, 2013 for summer holiday. Because my girlfriend's Vietnamese, but we met in university. So she was a student and we just came back for a couple of weeks in the summer. So that was my first experience, very much as a tourist, traveling about, going to the museums. And I really enjoyed it.
So 2013, Jesus, 2019, it was 6 years ago.
Yeah, things have changed here.
I was going to say, so I've been here nearly 3 years, and the Saigon has just changed dramatically. What's the biggest changes you've noticed from 2013?
We live in District 4, and when I first came, there weren't that many big apartment blocks. But now from our house, you look around, you see these huge buildings, and they've all sprung up. They weren't there at all when I first came.
So I used to live in District 4 as well, and that was even 3 years ago, and half of that wasn't there at all. I just noticed everything spring up.
And even the amount, I think this is a good thing, but the amount of tourists, you just didn't see as many foreign faces around.
Really?
And I think, I feel like when you go to, Wing Hue Street or the tourist area, you just see a lot more visitors. And it's really nice that Vietnam's kind of opening up more and more people are coming to visit the country. And I remember I arrived a few weeks after Starbucks did, and there was this huge excitement. Everyone wanted to go to Starbucks. And now there's a whole bunch of them around Saigon. So it's things are changing. I think a lot of them for the good, some for the bad. I think there's more cars. I think the traffic's a bit worse, which sucks. But let's all hope they sort that out.
So that even in just 3 years, I've noticed the traffic has just gone from crazy to crazier. Yeah. And it is the cars. Like now when I'm on my bike, it's literally 2 lanes of cars and maybe 1 or 2 bikes. Yeah. Whereas even 3 years ago, it was mostly bikes with some cars dotted about. Yeah. And it drives me insane because, have you ever seen that infographic where it shows the footprint of a car, with like one person in it, and then the footprint of a bus? Yeah. And
and suddenly there's only one bus on the road instead of like 50 cars, right? Yeah.
And I look at all these, and everyone drives an SUV here. Yeah, and this massive SUV with one person in it. Yeah. And you're just like, I don't really know what the solution is. Yeah,
let's hope that the metro and the bus routes sort this problem out. We'll see. We'll see if it has an impact.
We'll hope for that. So you came here in 2013 for 13 months?
No, I came in 2015 for 13 months. Right. So I came twice on holiday and then 1 year to live. Just over 1 year, yeah.
And what did you do when you came here to live for 13 months? What did you do for?
So I've always worked as a music producer, and I was working as a freelancer at the time. So I still had some jobs from the UK. I was searching for jobs from various places, but I started teaching English in public schools just for that kind of stable income while I was here. So that was pretty much it. I did a couple of hours a week in public schools. A lot of them were quite far away, so there was a lot of driving involved. And then the rest of the time I was at home doing freelance music and audio work.
Nice. And so is that what you studied?
Yeah, I have a degree in music.
Nice.
From Huddersfield, yeah.
Is that a real degree?
Yeah. And it's actually proper music. I didn't do music technology, pop music, which is what I'm doing now.
There's a degree in pop music?
Yeah. What? Yeah, there's film music, pop music, music engineering, music technology, all different things. So I stuck for the kind of plain, simple music. But all the skills I use now in my current job, I didn't learn on my degree. I learned that away from university.
I think that's the same with everyone.
A lot of people are in that situation. Yeah.
And so what was it like in Huddersfield? I know absolutely nothing about Huddersfield apart from they have a football team that's just been relegated.
Yeah. It's a small town. There's not an awful lot going on, but it has a really good music department. It's world famous for contemporary music, which is kind of...
No, but wait, you say that phrase, world famous?
Yeah,
if I
it's
went anywhere in the world and said, do you know the Huddersfield School of Music? Would somebody somewhere in the world be like, yeah, I know that, because I don't think that's world famous.
Huddersfield Contemporary Music Festival happens every November. It's covered by BBC Radio 4. Yeah, and artists come all over the world to perform, but it's weird music, really, really weird. What's the word I'm looking for? Esoterical music.
Right.
Yeah, I once went to a concert, and it was a rhubarb plant with microphones around it, and we sat in the dark listening to the rhubarb grow, and that was the concert. And it's
I don't believe that.
Crazy
That's not
shit.
real.
Yeah,
that really happened.
Yeah, it really happened.
What did you hear? What did it sound
Just
like?
Just weird creaking noises. Yeah,
you could hear it grow.
Yeah, you could actually hear it grow because it grows so quickly.
Oh, really? It does?
Yeah, you could actually hear it growing. So it's bizarre. And
was there a message behind that? Something to take for humanity?
Probably, but it was probably nonsense. Yeah, I once went to, and a lot of this like contemporary music, contemporary art is just porn disguised as art. I once went to this concert, and it was just, I didn't know what it was. It was free, so I went, and it was this guy. He said, he called it like liquid pixel, like, you know when you pixelate something to like hide someone's face, but it's called liquid pixel, so they kind of melted into each other, and it's a cool effect. It's like, okay, that's cool. And he just said, so I just took loads of porn and pixelated it, and then I hooked up with this music producer, composer, and he was doing like live ambient synthesis to this pixelated porn, and we sat there for 2 hours looking at this thing. It was the weirdest thing, but you know what, sometimes you need to go to these things and open your mind.
It's art, right?
Yeah, it's art. Yeah, porn but disguised as art.
So moving on from porn art, you came back here for 13 months. You were an English teacher. Were you singing to the kids then, since you're a music producer?
Yeah, I love that.
Did you have a synthesizer at the top, at the front?
No, I never performed, but I love all the English learning songs, and even if I didn't have a laptop, I'd be doing it a cappella, all the ABC stuff. It's a lot of fun. I think they enjoy it.
And so, as we know, your girlfriend's Vietnamese, and we know from talking to her previously, she likes to feed you a lot as well. How is her cooking? Is it good?
It's really good. Unfortunately, we don't do as much cooking as we'd like to here in Vietnam. We cooked a lot more in the UK, and Kim, my girlfriend, was involved with the Vietnamese Student Society, and that's one thing about Vietnamese people. They went to England, they had their little group, and they all made friends with each other, and it was often our house where they ended up because Kim was the best at cooking, so she'd do hot pots and noodle soups, and they'd all come round our house, and she'd be feeding everyone, and it always ended in a karaoke party. Yeah, absolutely.
Is it really?
Yeah, that is genuinely true.
I was only joking.
Yeah, because I work in music, so I had microphones, speakers, and we used to set this up, and they'd all do their karaoke. Yeah. Well, I hid in the kitchen washing up.
So, what was it like dating a Vietnamese girl in the UK?
I never really met many people from Vietnam until that point. So her English has improved a lot because I met her as she was starting her degree. So yeah, it was interesting, especially the food, because she enjoyed cooking, and it was all stuff so different that I knew. But we had a lot of similar interests, film and music, so there wasn't much of a barrier I ever felt between us.
What would you say would be the biggest barrier? Culturally,
culturally, there was a few barriers. I can't think of any particular examples off the top of my head. I don't want to be mean to her, but there was a few things culturally that there was a little bit hard, or we had to explain to each other and understand each other's backgrounds a bit more.
Well, Kim told us, that's right, that when you're sick, that you need to drink hot water.
Yeah, well, it's the ice that I think's weird. If you drink ice, you get a bad throat. I'm not 100% sure I believe that, but
Yeah,
everyone in Vietnam does, so who am I to know?
The best one that I heard was when I first came to Vietnam. It was our first night in Saigon, my wife and I and her sister and her husband. And my wife managed to cut her big toe really badly on a set of metal stairs. So the top of the toe was almost hanging off, blood everywhere. Really bad. Luckily there was a pharmacy next door, so we went to the pharmacy and we got it cleaned up, got bandages, and then of course they wanted to give her antibiotics.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like,
I get that for everything.
Antibiotics, they're for an infection. It's a cut. She's not going to take antibiotics.
Yeah.
But then the best thing was, the pharmacist, I say pharmacist, it's in quotation marks, he was about 19 years old. He told her that she shouldn't eat morning glory the next day. I don't know why, but the advice was don't eat morning glory the next day. So we kind of took that one with a pinch of salt as well. I don't know if that's entirely accurate.
Yeah, that's there is one story. I remember once my girlfriend, she had a bruise and she boiled an egg and started rubbing it on the bruise. Apparently that was going to fix it. So that was a bit of a weird one.
Back home they would say put a steak on a black eye.
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
Maybe
Yeah,
it's something similar.
Yeah.
Who knows? So you went back home. Came here twice on holiday.
Went back home, came again, lived for a year, went back home. Then my girlfriend finished her degree because you see, I had just finished my degree when I met her, and she was just starting hers. She kind of met a little bit at the wrong time. So after
you moved to Saigon without her, without your Vietnamese
So she did this one.
She was in.
Yeah. I know it
sounds
sounds a bit odd, but she was doing an internship. She had a 1-year job internship at the university, and it was a good time. It was her first job, so it was a good time for her to kind of do this, get the experience, and be independent. And at the same time, I was working with a friend. We were both working together as freelancers, and he wanted to come here, and if I wanted to continue working with him, I kind of had to go with him. Okay. So there's two factors to that.
So it's just a coincidence that he wanted to.
Yeah, because he grew up in Southeast Asia, and he's from Germany, but wanted to come back here. So I agreed to go with him, and we continued to work together. We lived together as well. And I came back for Christmas. My girlfriend came here for Tet, and then in the summers she was here. So we were only ever apart for a couple of months at a time. So it's not as drastic as it sounds at first.
And so now you're both here full time. So how long have you been here full time now?
Yes, 1 year full time.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, you said that earlier. And so what do you do now? What have you been doing for the last year?
I didn't want to be one of those people who came on a tourist visa and was just teaching English, not really qualified. So I did the CELTA in England. And then I came here to teach. I had the job for working with ILA, but I always intended to get back into the music scene as soon as I could. And because I lived here before and was already working here, I had a lot of connections. And the first day I came here, I went to a film festival in District 2 in Saigon Outcast, and one of the films actually did the soundtrack for.
You did it?
Yeah. So it was nice to get straight back into that and already talking to people. And I started working with a friend, producing some music for him. And from there, I met some other people and just landed this other job working full-time as a music producer, which has been really great. Still doing it now. I'm not working with ILA anymore. I did really enjoy it. No bad feelings or regrets.
An English school.
Yeah. So I'm not teaching English anymore, just full-time music. Which is really nice, always been a dream. It's much better than freelancing because I'm working within a company. They tell me what to do, they give me the jobs, I don't need to worry about searching for it. So it's really great.
And so what kind of music is it that you're making?
Mostly children's music. I work with a TV channel here, HTV3, doing a lot of kids songs, which is fun. I still love working with kids. I get to do some other stuff. We work with a lot of Vietnamese pop stars, and I did a soundtrack for a TV show. We do some adverts and things like that. So loads of good variety of things.
Now, is it true that you are personally responsible for Baby Shark?
Baby Shark, Vietnamese Baby Shark. Ga map gong, yeah. So yeah, all the Pink Fong songs, there's a lot of them, are all being translated into Vietnamese. We're recording them, and then they're going to be published on YouTube. Hopefully soon. We're nearly done with the project. So I can't wait for that to happen. And I can't wait for the Vietnamese people to hear all these songs in their language. It's going to be really cool.
And what has been the biggest challenge then of taking songs that are written in English, the rhymes are in English, they're for children,
the language,
and then you're taking them and making them in Vietnamese, which, as we know, is just a very, very different
This Vietnamese tonal language, which means you can't sing certain melodies, because if the tone is going down but the note is going up, you know, that's a big problem. You just can't do it. So we've had to work our way around this, changing, you know, speaking the line instead of singing it, or changing the melody, changing the lyrics. So that's been the biggest challenge, and it's a challenge you wouldn't get with many other languages that aren't tonal. So it's quite specific to Vietnamese.
Yeah, that's. I mean, the tonal language is such a challenge in so many ways. I would never have imagined that. Translating it musically would. Yeah.
Like we're doing Baby Shark and even Mommy Shark. Because meh is one of those notes that goes down in tone, but the melody of Baby Shark, you can't do that with that word, so we have to just kind of speak it instead. So it's finding your way, meh do like that, instead of meh. You can't, because you can't do it.
And does it change the overall like song a little bit, or
a little bit? It changes the energy, and so it's these problems you have to work around and find a middle ground and the best solution.
And so when you're not working, what do you like to do in Saigon?
We like going out, exploring bars and restaurants, mostly around the inner city. Just nice to see what food and places are around, really.
So same as most expats?
Yeah, pretty much.
You like to eat?
You like to eat and drink, yeah. That's pretty much it. We love going to the cinema as well. We go and see a lot of Vietnamese films, actually.
And your Vietnamese is shit. Your Vietnamese should be better if you're watching Vietnamese movies. You should be getting better.
I just read the subtitles.
That's terrible. Does your girlfriend not try and make you speak Vietnamese?
No, she speaks Vietnamese to me, and I understand it, so I can, if she gives me some kind of instruction in Vietnamese, I know what she's saying.
When she's angry at you?
Yeah, that's when Vietnamese? It comes out, yeah.
But you still can understand what she's saying? Yeah. And so you go to the movies a lot. Have you seen Avengers Endgame yet?
Yeah, we went to see it in 4D, which was fun. But, you know, the chair's kind of moving around so much, it's a bit hard to concentrate on the screen.
Well, we won't say anything about it because...
Yeah, we don't want to spoil it.
But by the time this gets listened to, it's probably a long time
past that, yeah.
So we'll maybe cut this out. So to finish off, every episode I ask every guest the same questions. We want to learn a bit more about Saigon, hopefully share some more information. So first question is, what are your top 3 foods in Vietnam?
Oh, I love, because my girlfriend loves it, I think, bún bò Huế, which is similar to pho, but it's a little bit spicier, has a few more flavors. So yeah, I really love bún bò Huế. The other one is bò kho, which is like the beef stew. You know, you can have it with noodles or bread. I really love that one. And thirdly, just the Vietnamese spring rolls. You know, in the rice paper, they're really good. You get the fresh herbs and vegetables in. Yeah, I really like it.
And then what is your favourite bar and your favourite beer in Saigon?
Oh, there's a bar which we've been going to recently called Leila. And it's like a live music venue. The band are really great. The band are Vietnamese. The singers are foreign, but from different countries, you know, and they do all these pop covers, but they do them really well. So we love going there and listening to the live music.
And then, to be clear, so it's called what?
Leila.
Which is different to Leila.
Leila's the cocktail bar. Yeah, it's a bit confusing. It's on Le Lai Street.
Right.
You know, you've got Pham Ngu Lao, and then you've got the park. It's the road on the other side of the park. Yeah, Leila, Lela, I think.
Good to clear that up. And then, so what's your favourite beer? Because obviously we're spoiled with craft beer.
Yeah, I really like the cacao nib porter in Heart of Darkness. It's not something I go out and have a few of, but especially if you've had dinner and it's quite late, it's kind of like a dessert beer. But it's quite unique, special thing, yeah.
I'm nodding my head here in agreement. I 100% agree that beer is absolutely delicious. I couldn't drink more than one, probably.
Yeah, same.
It's like one of those, like,
it's
it's
a good
really
treat.
rich, and it is like a dessert almost. But,
Yeah.
man, it's good. Yeah, I'll agree with that one. So what's your favourite daytime place to have a drink at in Saigon?
We like going to our park and Propaganda next to the park near the Reunification Palace. They do really good brunches, and you can sit outside if it's not too hot. Get your brunch. You can get a cocktail, and yeah, it's a great ambience, nice place to be.
And so we obviously know a bit about the background of why you came to Saigon. Why do you stay?
Number one, because my girlfriend is here and she's Vietnamese. And number two, my job. I love my job and my colleagues I work with, the things I get to do. And thirdly, the lifestyle, all these places we can go to. I just think it's so great. If this was the UK, it's too cold. You just want to stay at home, watch TV. But here we're out almost every night enjoying ourselves. Yeah, so we really love it here.
It's a really good point. Yeah, you kind of forget that sometimes the weather here is, apart from rainy season, it's consistently warm and it's consistently nice. And you do it because I've not lived in the UK for so long. I forget about how much of an adverse effect the weather has on you.
You get one sunny day and suddenly all the restaurants are putting table and chairs outside. Yeah,
Taps off.
Yeah, the sunny's on.
Yeah.
And everyone's outside. And you just imagine if it was like this half the year, businesses would be doing better. Everyone would be happier. We're all outside. But
I remember once I saw a friend on Facebook post that he had from Scotland had sunstroke. It'd been 23 degrees in Scotland.
But it's a big difference when it's normally like 5 degrees.
And so I kind of mocked him a little bit, and then I got shot down, and someone sent a link that you can actually get sunstroke at 23 degrees. I was like, I'm completely shocked at that. But you forget the difference that the weather makes, that you can enjoy so many more things, and especially year-round here as well, right?
Yeah.
So what's one thing that you would change about Saigon?
The traffic, it can be dangerous. It causes bad pollution. It's so many cars and bikes everywhere. And, we have this metro project. They're trying to introduce more buses and bus routes. And let's just hope that they keep growing that the metro is done on time and that it makes a difference. I think that if they can sort the traffic out, it'll be much easier for everyone and better for our health.
And what would you say is the most misunderstood thing about Saigon?
I think if I was back in England telling people I lived in Saigon or Vietnam, in their mind they would think I'm, sort of wearing a conical hat in a farm picking rice, because they just don't know. Not that many people have been here on holiday yet, and the more that people come visit, the less they'll think like that. But right now, I do think that's probably what a lot of people are envisaging when I tell them I'm here.
And to be fair, most of Vietnam is like that.
It is, yeah.
And I think because we're in Ho Chi Minh City and it's 10 million people.
Yeah.
It's a big city, so we have all the benefits of lots of Western bars, craft beer. We can go buy technology if we need it. Like, it really is like a cosmopolitan city.
Yeah, we're in a bit of a bubble, right? So it is important, I think, to get out the city once in a while and see the real Vietnam, if you want to call it that.
Well, it leads into my next question, is what's your favourite place, or where's your favourite place to get out of town? Because as we know, especially as expats, and in this crazy city with the heat and the traffic, sometimes you just need to get out.
Yeah, well, for a day trip, we have friends that live in Ben Tre, which is a town in the Mekong Delta. It's about a 2-hour drive, so we've gone there. You can go by bus or drive there. Nice. It's quieter. It's like the land of the coconuts. The Mekong River's really beautiful. You can take a boat trip. If I had a little bit more time, I'd have to say Dalat. It's nice to go somewhere a bit cooler, and it's so flat here. And it's nice to see the mountains and hills of Dalat. And there's loads of great things to do there as well.
And final question. So what advice would you give to someone who's thinking of living in Saigon?
I'd say just go for it. Don't be scared. It might feel like a big move, especially if you've never been to Asia and you live in Europe or America. Don't be afraid and take the step, and you'll meet loads of really great people. The Vietnamese people are so helpful and welcoming to foreigners and expats that want to come here. So I think you'll really enjoy it. just take a hat and some sunscreen because it can get pretty hot.
That is, I didn't think of that answer when I thought of this question, but that is great practical advice.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to someone? Sunscreen, a hat,
and then a raincoat, maybe.
That's great. Well, Lewis, thank you very much. That's been really interesting. It's been fun talking to you. Do you want to tell us what's happening next for you?
Yep, I'm just still here for the foreseeable future, still enjoying my job. I'm going to be working on, some interesting projects coming up. It's a bit hard to talk about it with what I do. It's all kind of secretive, which is a shame. But I'm really looking forward to just, working on more music projects, getting them out there on the TV and YouTube, and so the Vietnamese people can hear it and hopefully enjoy it.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Học sữa trứng cút lộn bắp xào đây.
Thanks for listening to another episode of 7 Million Bikes, a Saigon podcast. Thank you very much to Lewis Wright for composing our theme tune and helping with editing. And thank you very much to Kim Nguyen for helping with the cover art design that you see on our Facebook page and our website. If you do want to leave us a review, go to Facebook, look for 7 Million Bikes, a Saigon podcast, or you can check us out online at www.7millionbikes.com. I hope you're enjoying listening to the podcast. If you have any suggestions of people in Saigon who you'd like to hear from, like to be interviewed, then just drop me an email at 7millionbikes@gmail.com. Thanks for listening. I hope you're enjoying the show. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you're like me, you may use your laptop at places where you have to use public Wi-Fi. This opens you up to digital snoopers. It's a massive problem. It can be your internet service provider, or you know who, looking at what you do online, or a cyber criminal trying to steal your bank passwords or credit card info, or even a hacker at the next table trying to steal your sensitive data. These days, it is vital that you keep your data safe. NordVPN keeps all of these snoopers away. It makes your internet activity private, protects you from accessing dangerous websites that are phishing for your data, and lets you enjoy your favorite content securely, even while away from home. And it's easy to use, even I could use it. I've actually been using NordVPN for years now here in Vietnam, and I'm excited to be an affiliate partner with them. I've used NordVPN to watch Netflix, BBC, Disney Plus with ease, and I also know that my information and data are safe from prying eyes, whoever they may be. Join now and you'll get 68% off and 3 months free when you go to my link, nordvpn.com/SMB. Just again, for those hard of hearing, nordvpn.com/SMB. The link is also in the show notes. I know nobody checks them out, but go check that out and you can get the link from wherever you are listening to this podcast. As an affiliate partner, it also means that I will get a small commission when you sign up, but at no extra cost to you. So not only will you be getting a great deal through 7 Million Bikes, you get a great VPN and you'll be supporting 7 Million Bikes podcast. Stay safe online and enjoy the shows you love. Any questions, just let me know. You know how to get in touch with me. And thanks for listening to this show. Cheers.